Hi there, everyone. My name's Andrew. I'm the product lead for Progressive Delivery, a new capability that we're shipping inside of Jira Software's Releases Hub. I want to lead you through our new capability today. So going into it, I'm going to be covering about 4 sections. What it is that we're trying to do inside the open toolchain, potentially a new concept you haven't heard of before. Next up, what were we inspired by that led us to name a capability Progressive Delivery? Under that, what actually have we shipped to market and where are we going next with Progressive Delivery? And finally, how can you start to get and use this capability yourself? So from the very top, we're looking at Jira Software about how do we build high quality software faster through collaborative experiences for our customers. So to date, you might think that Jira Software is something that product managers, business analysts, or just developers use, something very much built just for them. But we think that the future of Jira Software and how we can get teams to work faster together is by bringing in content designers, support engineers, and all those other cross-functional roles that build out a really effective product team. They've all got a really meaningful place inside of Jira Software, and we believe that Progressive Delivery is going to be an even more kind of comfortable spot for those teams to work together in. What we've really been inspired by as well is the fact that we look at all these different pieces of data that teams interact with every single day, build information, commit information alongside the core Jira issue, just to name a few, right? We think these kind of make up a constellation of stars or nodes that can all be interconnected with one another inside of Jira Software. So once you build out a picture of all of these different things that individuals interact with when they work on daily, we get a really clear picture of the discovery, delivery, and then operations phases of software development. That's led us to a term called open DevOps. Jira Software alone doesn't contain all of these different kind of data types and nodes. So we look at an open tool chain as a way to bring in those capabilities building on top of Jira Software. So if you have an integration into one of your tools, such as GitLab, Circle CI, Datadog, Sneak, or other tools, you can build on top of Jira Software and our Atlassian suite to really build out that full picture of work. And for us today, that integrated viewpoint is where we bring in Progressive Delivery. And Progressive Delivery looks at everything that's inside of this dotted line that we've got, this dotted box that we have here. So next up, let's have a look at some of the challenges that our customers are facing daily that led us to build out Progressive Delivery. We're inspired by a few of these quotes that I want to run through with you now. Number one is that teams really struggle to write effective release notes for both internal and external teams. It's a lot of manual work. So we saw an opportunity here to try and automate some of that release note generation by taking content out of Jira issues or even custom fields so the teams can assemble release notes in a somewhat complete state and then continue to edit them inside of Confluence. Next up, we noticed that a lot of teams leverage release approval processes and that there's not too much of a structure around them. Teams might simply jump into Jira and add a comment by a higher up or the release manager as order of noting that kind of decision. We think that we could really jump in here and offer a much better reviewer experience for release approvers. And on that, once a decision has been made to go out to market, and release that capability, the way that teams communicate is also really manual. So we think that we could jump in there and look at how do we automate the act of communicating via email or Slack to make sure that everyone in the team understands what's just gone out to market, so they're ready for that customer response. And next up is looking at how teams coordinate the longer-term measurement of the work that they ship out to market, right? It's all well and good that you make a decision to ship a feature or capability out to a customer, but how do we ensure that it's actually been an impactful feature that we should continue to reinvest in? It's a big area that we want to look into in Progressive Delivery. And last up, whilst I mentioned before that teams really leverage Jira for that development view of the world, we want to bring in that delivery view of the world as well. How does Jira look at handling non-development tasks, such as blog post writing, the creation of analytics dashboards? These are big areas that we wanted to bring into Progressive Delivery as well. And last up, once a team has made that decision to go out to market, it's that retrospective phase where we want to understand how much effort went into the delivery of that work. And again, another core tenet of Progressive Delivery. So to sum up those customer quotes, we kind of walked away with a few pillars here around what we believe progressive delivery really means. And number one is that we realize that a release is so much more than just a single deployment to production. It's looking at all the rest of the go-to-market and framework work that goes behind that, such as having an operational analytics dashboard to track customer impact from day one, to have customer comms across support and marketing lined up really early on. So with a view of delivery and development tasks, right, it's actually really important to bring that into one single pane of glass, one environment where marketers and other non-technical team members can look into the progress of engineering work, whilst engineers can understand what's going to happen to the features that they're shipping by seeing into the progress on marketing work as well, creating that two-way view of the world in a single place. Next up is once we've made a decision to roll out, we want to make sure that we've got guardrails and a bit of a safety net for teams to make sure that they can roll out from 1%, 5%, or 10% of customers progressively. Right? The Progressive Delivery Hub provides you that safety net by being able to look into deployment status and make rollback decisions effectively. Right? And this leverages a lot of our integrations into the Open DevOps toolchain through feature flags, deployment tools, and also analytics dashboard tracking, bringing that all again into one place. In end, we think that this makes launching a collaborative decision, something where every single stakeholder at the table has high confidence in the state of engineering work, the go-to-market campaign, and that clicking that launch button together means that they're starting on their release journey with full transparency of what they're doing. So I said the word progressive delivery quite a bit. How have we interpreted that when it comes to product? Well, the way that we've interpreted it is looking at bringing a go, no-go ritual into Jira software, right? By bringing designers, marketers, analysts together to make collaborative rollout decisions by looking at the full set of data of their engineering work and also their delivery tasks. And by making consistent decisions inside of the Releases Hub powered by progressive delivery capabilities, we believe that we can build a really meaningful audit log of all of the decisions made that go towards that release. So let's actually jump into the product. Here we can see the Releases Hub with a freshly created version. We've populated it with a few issues that are all in the to-do state. But there's a new section that if you're familiar to the Releases Hub, you may have not seen before, which is the related work section. This is where we capture what I've mentioned before as all of those delivery tasks, right? So the top half of the page here focuses on how we interact with our non-technical team members and track their work across analytics creation, monitoring dashboards, blog post progress, and even release note progress as well. Whilst the issues view gives us a viewpoint of what the engineers are doing inside the rest of Jira, right? This is an automatically populated environment for those developers. They don't need to jump in and change statuses of issue inside of the Releases Hub. Their normal use of Jira on a daily basis provides this view as long as those issues have been added to a version. So as you can see here, as we add related work and we add issues and their statuses change and the progress of that work goes ahead, our progress bar as the aggregate view of our release changes as well. And we're going to dig into how that happens. So let's start with related work. Here we can see that Jira software, when we click to add a link or a new release note, provides us a suggestions drawer, a set of recommendations on what we should add into our release to make it best of breed. We've taken the top kind of assets that our customers prepare and provided them as a placeholder asset so that we can pre-prepare our upcoming release. So teams might choose to add in a security report, a change request as part of their process, or even a blog post. And in that case, let's start with a blog post as a quick example. So adding that in, you can see it being added as a placeholder state. And with that, you can add a Jira issue or link an existing Jira issue to it as well. When you create it, you can add it to the correct person. In this case, I'm going to add it to my content designer, who's going to write up the right blog post for us. And here we can see it in the to-do state. We've now brought them into the release as a contributor. Moving forward in time, we can see that this person's added the blog post as a related work item and we're no longer in a placeholder state, and that the Jira issue has transitioned from to-do to in progress. And we can look at the subtasks within the Jira issue to track the incremental work required to be done there. Moving forward, we've also made an integration into Jira Work Management, where on the calendar view, you can view any existing releases or versions in progress from Jira software. So this provides marketers a really clear view of what releases are coming up and what they need to start to prepare for. This is really important because teams can click through to this version and then add any kind of marketing tasks that they're working on into related work as well. Again, bringing another individual into Jira software to prepare and coordinate releases. Moving down into the issues view, we can see here that our team's been pretty busy and working away at more and more of their issues, right? And you can see on each row that an issue has a lot more information against it than just its state. Inside of the Progressive Delivery Releases Hub, we believe that a done issue is just the start of its life. Leveraging the open DevOps toolchain that we spoke about previously by integrating into CI/CD tools, SCM tools, and feature flag tools, we can visualize what's happened to that issue since an engineer completed it. We can see its pull request status. We can see if it's in staging or if it's in the production environment thanks to the green tick cloud. And then lastly, we can see the progress of its rollout against feature flags as well. This gives a really clear view to anyone in the team about if they can test the capability inside of staging right now, or how many end customers are seeing it inside of production. If you've never leveraged feature flags inside of the Releases Hub before, you can easily do so. By hovering over any issue added to the version, you can either create or connect a feature flag, and if you haven't installed a connected tool yet, you can click Install Another Tool. Here, we very easily allow you to install one of our partner apps, being LaunchDarkly, Split, and Harness, to name a few, to get started with feature flags, all without leaving the Releases Hub. So now our release is starting to come together. We've got a viewpoint of what work's being done. We've got a few delivery task items within related work making their progress. It might be time for us to start preparing our release notes. And we've invested in this space inside the Progressive Delivery as well, by allowing you to automatically generate release notes and export them into Confluence to get them ready for end customers or for any kind of internal documentation or communication to your teams as well. We've extended the release notes capability by allowing you to add in any custom fields into a release note as well. So you've got unlimited kind of capacity to pull in the right information from Jira issues to start to pre-build your release notes before you put your finishing touches on them inside of Confluence. And now we can see that added as another related work item so that it's always linked to our release. Another capability that we've added to the Releases Hub is the ability to add a reviewer. We spoke before about the fact that we've been inspired by our customers to add an approvals functionality. And we've enabled you to add in the right people with the right titles to be an approver and provide that tick against an upcoming release. As our release has progressed as well, we can see that we've got a far more detailed viewpoint of requirements against our progress. So the Releases Hub now doesn't just look at issue progress towards completion, but it also looks at those delivery tasks and those internal processes that need to be met in order to get a release out to market. And you can configure these as part of the release create process as well. So it looks like we've just got one more person to approve this release. And Joshua's gone ahead and done that. And we can celebrate that as a team by seeing the full progress bar and all of the incremental delivery and development checkoffs have been made. We're now in a position to release this version, ensuring that the whole team has been aligned around the act of releasing. With that in mind, let's have a look at where we're intending to go with Progressive Delivery. Everything that you've seen here today is just one part of our Progressive Delivery vision. We've got 4 parts. Everything here is in regards to the pre-release experience, running go, no-go rituals collaboratively together, right? Next up, we want to go deeper into automations across first and third parties, looking at things like Compass, looking at Jira Service Management, and also Atlas, to name a few. And once a team has made a rollout decision, we also know that they might only start at 1% rollout to their end customers. We want to make sure that the Progressive Delivery Hub is an environment for them to make incremental rollout decisions together as well, moving from 1% to 5%, to 10% to 50% of all customers. And those decisions, just like your initial rollout decision, should be made inside of the Progressive Delivery Hub, leveraging our connected data across analytics, feature flag progress, and taking in other information across the open tool chain as well. If this sounds really interesting and you want to jump into progressive delivery, well, we're excited to say that these capabilities are live in market already, and we're continuing to invest and ship them. If you go into the Features tab in the project settings, you can turn on the Releases Hub and start leveraging this capability with your team today. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate you joining the session, and have a great Team 23.